Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, stock market bull run has started. It's been started, ladies and gentlemen. BTC bull run has also engaged. It's moving forward 1% close to all-time high in the BTC markets. Are you going to be prepared? Investing opportunities everywhere. Let's talk and welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information. Make sure you let it be known that you're in the house tonight. Hold on a second. I have something in the background working up. But again, you never know who's out here looking for information or not looking for information. And again, we are now monetized. So if you'd like to become a member of the channel, please do so. And if you still haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click the all notification bell. It doesn't cost anything to give it a one piece, just so people know that you like the video after watching. And our chat room is open, everybody. So make sure you make comments if you have anything to say. We don't block anybody. Well, I shouldn't say anybody. Scammers I block, but everybody else, your voice, it can be heard here. Your recommendations, your thoughts, your ideas can all be heard here. We check it, double check, triple check, and we like to help people. That's why it's called Stop Struggling Now. SSN Nation.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can hear my voice. And again, thank you so much for being here. And it appears that you're in the house. Make sure, again, you smash that like button. And it looks like technical difficulties is still reigning supreme. Now, let's check a little something today. It does look like salsa dance is in order today. It's Friday. And welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Again, chat room's open. If you have anything that you want to discuss, let it be known. Every live stream, this is where we can discuss. This is where you can find out information. And this is number one priority that we're going to try and make sure your life gets a little bit better with some of the information that we share here. And first things first, findhelp.org. You need help. Your family needs help. Friends need help. Loved ones need help. Anybody needs help. Go to findhelp.org for financial help, medical help, caregiving help, job training help, all there if you put in your zip code and you're in America. Plenty of funding from the government and state organizations to help the nonprofits help you. Courtesy of Matthew Lesko. Down below in the description box after this is over, you will find, after this live stream is in replay, you will find Matthew Lesko and grant money. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do, I'll put a link in the chat room just so everybody can have it. So that way you have no excuse. The stock market bull run for a few of you, and some people, well, you're just going to be left behind, unfortunately. The reason why may not be even your own fault. It may be because you don't have disposable income. That's going to be the key thing now. The haves versus the have-nots for the future. Living in a caste system, so to speak, you're going to be in a box. And that's where they're trying to get you. Because if you cannot outpace all of these fees, all of the insurance costs, all of the way you have to fund your lifestyle, whether you have a vehicle or do you ride the bus. Because you could be saving $12,000 to $20,000 a year from car insurance the way things are going. Do you own a home or do you rent? Because again, insurance costs could exceed $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a year. Just in insurance. Never mind the property taxes, which could be $3,000, $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. It's starting to add up, ladies and gentlemen. Do you really want to spend for these liabilities this extra money? And that extra money that you're spending needs to go towards investments for the stock market bull run, the BTC bull run. You've already missed out on, let me see, it went down to 105 in the BTC earlier, a month or two back. It's now at 121. That's 10% would make it 10,005. So it'd be 115.5. And another 10% would make it around 125. So it has already increased somewhere between 15 to 18%. I think a lot of people would like 15 to 18% on their money annually, right? If that was possible. Once again, just remember, these are bull runs, manufactured bull runs that allow the wealthy to get wealthier. And it also allows ordinary citizens, that's you, the OCs, to get wealthier as well. So once again, another investor's in the house. Welcome, Mr. Worldwide 2, to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do every Friday night. We do a little salsa dance because we have dividend funds that give out their money every Friday. And I also have good news. I just checked my Moomoo account yesterday, not just now. yesterday. And remember, I was keeping track from around April or March or April, and I wanted to see from $100. And I had certain stocks in there like ARR, YMAG, YMAX, ORC, and I'm missing something. ORC, PSCC, a little crypto, which is BTC and Ethereum. And it was only $100 out of all those things I just mentioned. I was happy to see today $142 in the account, which means 42% increase since March or April. I don't believe people would have a hard time with that. So I just gave you most of what's in there that I can remember off the top of my head, but I think that's pretty much it, because when you have $100, that means you can only have 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 shares. You're not gonna with that many stocks. So it's not like there's 110 shares of each or anything like that. It was like 1 to 5. That's it. Arranged in different orders, right? ARR gives like 20% by itself. BTC goes up. BTC and Ethereum have went up more than 15 to 20%. So that this would all make sense. If it went up 20% just in the last month, then if you would have done something 6 months ago, easy to see why that could be higher than 15 to 20%. When you have reinvestments on the stocks, then once again, that money's being reinvested. And if you get 20%, now what is the yield when they keep reinvesting, right? So it's 42%. Just so you guys know, bull run is here, ladies and gentlemen. Stock market pulled back a little today. I loaded up again. Exactly. Exactly. Don't let them fool you out here, ladies and gentlemen. It pulls back to get you out of the game in case you don't have conviction. Let's just keep things very, very simple. If you go by the history of the United States, the stock market is designed to go up. They take out the ones that are losers and put in the new winners. So if you start thinking about ETFs that invest in overall markets, SPY, QQQ, and then we go down below to the Vanguard groups, which I love, VOO, VOOG. So you have total markets. And if they're going to do something in a bull run like 15 to 20% as well, then what are you waiting for? See, that's the key. You have to understand where you are at. And unfortunately, the worst case scenario is happening. A contraction of jobs, contraction of free money available because people are putting it into safe havens, sticky safe havens. Gold, silver means the money's gone. It's over with. You put it into those items and you hope they rise, and then you have to sell those items to turn it back into fiat. So that is fine, but the point I'm trying to make is we need a flow of money, right? When there's a contraction, when there's less buyers, when there are less people buying things, when the prices are going up and people saying, hold on, I don't want to spend any money. All of those things can work to your advantage in this situation. There's booms happening because the top 10% of the wealthiest own 93% of the stock market. And who knows who owns the BTC and the Ethereum and all the others, because the banking industry is now allowed to go in and people are allowed to have ETFs with crypto. So once again, that's the whole key to the game. DIM Pals, I'm pretty sure, was loving life this past week because he does option tradings, and along with Post-Retirement Travel, who also does option income trading using the wheel strategy, which I still don't know what that is yet, but I'm getting slowly into at least trading with the Forex crowd. DIM pals, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. I smashed that like button. That's right, like the investor he is. Someone needs to tell Trump to turn the government back on. Money is printing nonstop. Exactly. And it's going to continue. That's right. I'm glad you brought that up, DIM pals. Does it really matter if the government does a shutdown? When are people going to finally realize the wealthy don't care if the government shuts down? That's why you have an all-time record high when the government shuts down. The stock market still hits, a new all-time high. Unbelievable. Main Street, you better wake up. The wealthy have advantages that you do not even know about. While people are hurting, things are getting shut down, jobs are lost. The wealthy and those who have assets that pay them uh, through the stock market are sitting there like, what's the big deal? I'm sorry. I don't have a problem here. I don't see what the problem is. The government has no bearing on anything that I'm doing. A big, big difference, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we've been talking about here. Again, why don't I just bring it up? Speaking of this government back on, money print is printing nonstop. It's going to keep printing. That is what the Federal Reserve is designed for. The government is designed in a capitalist system. It's systemic. And so therefore, they're just always going to make sure the people with money can win. If you don't have enough money to play in their game, then you start having problems because cost of living keeps rising every year. There's no way around it in a capitalist system. I have a company. I need to make more money than last year in order for investors to be happy. I have to have higher profits. Otherwise, I'm going to get fired if I'm the CEO. So therefore, how am I going to make things look good? I have to charge more money. Simple. That hurts. You know who? The OCs. That's you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So hopefully everybody here in the SSN Nation is on board, because you're going to have to be on board with money making ventures, unfortunately, for the rest of your life, potentially. Because if you're 20 years old or 25 or 30 years old, you are sitting behind an 8 ball, and it's very hard to get out of, because the cost of living is rising faster than any wage increase you're going to get year over year. So you're going to be further and further behind. It's bad. I'm sorry. I wasn't the one. I was the one 40 years ago telling everybody, hey, Reagan's not the dude. He's going to F things up. You're about to be poor. They were like, I'm not poor. It's rolling. Same thing that's happening right now. Oh, it's rolling, man. You see the stock market, it's going up. I'm like, yeah, because they're printing money and they're giving it to the companies. Same stuff. Trickle down theory. It was just a matter of time before there has to be an implosion. But the Federal Reserve have done a masterful job over the last 6 years. I mean, I'm highly impressed. I'm really impressed, because there should have been Great Depression 2.0 should have happened already. It's incredible what they've been able to get away with. But it's also because of the government. So you got to be ready. And a cup of coffee. Speaking of backstops, here's one of the backstops. A cup of coffee daily, each for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Exactly. There's your backstop, ladies and gentlemen. Even if you're the poorest person on the planet. Well, not the poorest person. But even if you don't seem to have disposable income, you should buy, I don't care, $5, $10 worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum whenever you can. It adds up, ladies and gentlemen. And the percentages add up. And guess what? There's a finite number of Bitcoin. So therefore, just like anything else, a short squeeze is going to continue to happen, because corporations have now jumped in and said, hey, like MicroStrategy, which is now called Strategy, they are now buying Bitcoin. Tesla's still buying Bitcoin. A lot of companies are buying into the Bitcoin thing. So therefore, they're spending millions of dollars. So you get the benefit by the short squeeze. I'm calling it a short squeeze, even though technically it short squeeze goes down and then there's a squeeze. But in this case, it's a squeeze up, because more and more people are going to buy it. Think of it like a Ponzi scheme. I need new buyers for the price to go up. Where am I going to get new buyers from? Well, corporations spending millions of dollars every month buying it. I have willing participants at this moment, and the price will rise. Then it's going to reach a certain point where everybody that's bought not buying, it's going to hold, and then it'll start trickling down. But then Satoshi came up with a brilliant idea. I'm going to limit how many of these are available. So therefore, there's always a collectible on demand at some point. We haven't reached that point yet. That's why you have to have a little bit of it, ladies and gentlemen, because 5 to 10 years from now, you may be singing a different tune. Because if that little situation happens where all of a sudden a Bitcoin is a million or 1.5 or 2.5, that little bit of money that you thought was a little bit of money today ends up being a lot of money later. It can change your family. All right. That's all it takes. Let the compounding power work for you. Exactly. That's very, very well said. That's why I had to leave it on the screen for a while, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Let's get into something else as well. Because after we talk about findhelp.org, I cannot let it slide because this is what everybody needs. I always have to talk about Tracy and Money Ladder, and they do help. They help people get rid of their debt without having to file bankruptcy, without having to deal with debt collectors. They just talk to the debtors for you and try to work out some way that they can get some of that what do we I want to call it tax because that's basically what interest is, but tax, the interest reduced. So anyhow, I put an email in there, Tracy, TRACY.sharpe, SHARPE at moneyladder.com. Let her know Eric Familia called you, told you to call. All right. And SSN Nation, of course, let her know. That's where you go. Hit her up. 1 year to 2 years, you can be out of your situation with great credit because you're going to need 775 already right now, today. If you have good credit, you know right now as you're watching this that you're getting in the mail on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. You're getting some credit card companies going, hey, we'll give you 12 months interest only, 18 months interest only, 21 months interest only, 24 months interest only, and we don't even have a credit problem yet. So in a year and 3 months, you have a 775 and up. Then we'll talk because I think they're going even one step further. I think they're going to go 3 years, 36 months interest only, and you can't tell me that can't work out for you. If somebody said, we'll give you 3 years interest only, a credit of thousands of dollars. Do you not know you can take advantage of that? The only thing that you're going to pay, obviously, there's a way they make money, and it's based on their annual fee. It could be $100, it could be $50, it could be $150. The point is 0% interest, just like if you're a multimillionaire, is awesome. Interest only at zero, which means nothing. That's crazy. Every dollar you put towards that goes to 100% of it. That is beautiful. That's how you stay ahead, ladies and gentlemen. So think about it and stop thinking about the visions of grandeur, the houses, the cars, the liabilities. All right. Those are liabilities, pseudo, and those liabilities are unknown liabilities. If there's anybody right now, what is this? October 3rd, whatever insurance company you have, if you know what the price your premium is going to be or what your renewal costs are going to be for next year, October, please let me know because you do not know that. Home, cars, property taxes, you don't know what they're going to be next year. Nor do you know what your energy bill is going to be. Nor do you know how much groceries are going to cost next year. Do you follow what I'm saying? You don't know how much anything's going to cost when it comes to your hard-earned money next year from now. You're hoping things don't go up, but that's what a lot of people said when until they went to the grocery store and they said, "Oh, beef does a body good," and then they looked at the prices like, "Does this $5 a pound? Does this say $6 a pound? Are you kidding me right now? Am I seeing 4 pounds, $25? Is this right?" You see where I'm going with this, ladies and gentlemen? There is nobody right here watching this right now that knows how much any of their liabilities are going to cost next year. I know one thing though, my assets that bring in income, I know they'll be bringing in income. So the fact of the matter is, I can raise my prices to offset the additional cost. Sure, I may lose a few customers, but the point of the matter is, I'm still making money off of something I don't have to work for. That's the key. All right, enough. Let's go. Tracy at Money Ladder. That's the first thing. And there will be, after this live stream, something down below. And look who's in the house, James Way, another investor living his best life. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Start of the month. And you know the rent is too damn high. Keep investing. That's the only way we can do it. You know, like I always said, I just wish I could have been in 5 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. And I wish somebody would have shook me and said, "Hey, young man, when you start working, you can't open up an account. Tell your parents to open up an account. All the money that you make, you should be putting into this thing for your first 15 years of whenever you started." I wish they would have said that. Nobody said that. Even going to business schools, nobody said, "Oh yeah, let's talk about investing, ladies and gentlemen." No, they talked about, "Oh, you can work for somebody else. You could be in line to move up and get a better job because you have a degree and all this BS." I shouldn't say it that way, but it's not really BS. I mean, if you have a degree and you get into something, you do make generally more money. That's how the economy used to be. But now, hell, I can shake my ass and make money, apparently. I can be a clown and do pranks on people and make some money on this social media platforms. Who knew? But that's the point. It's out of control. There is no standard to go up the ladder of the money tree. Anybody can bypass the money tree. That's one thing that America still has. You're not locked in, but they're narrowing the field of who's going to have the wealth and who's not. And therefore, any money that you start making, you're going to have to start thinking very hard because the rent is too damn high, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not going down. All right. Also, asset protection is mandatory at this point. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to talk about this a little more because right now it's disturbing when I'm sitting here looking at a trust situation. And the thing about the trust is, even though I've always mentioned a trust, the thing about a trust is you have to think about the future of unknowns, that you're trying to think of scenarios where the trustee is somehow going to be responsible and not violate the trust. You have to trust them, even though they could be family members or not to rip off the assets that's in a trust. Then you have to figure out who's going to be successors to the trust, which has the assets in it. Are you going to be able to trust that person when people are who even formed the trust are dead, long gone? This is crazy, but necessary, right? Asset protection is necessary. Why? Do you know where you live? Litigious United States of America? Because a lot of people are going the "oh, I fell down" route. I slipped and fell route, at your house route, at your business route. They're sitting there trying to go, well, I can't make any money, so I might as well go over here and try and rip off an insurance company. And by the way, take one of these guys' houses, cars, whatever I can get out of it, financially wise, dollar wise. This is where we're going, have been going. 80 million, 80 million lawsuits in America in a year. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Start thinking about these crazy numbers. So now you understand you have a house. You might have two. You might have an apartment building. You might have business. All of those are liabilities if somebody tries to sue you. So you might want to start thinking about asset protection. Just saying. All right, let's go. This is Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And some of you go, Eric, what does this got to do with the stock market bull run? What does this have to do with the BTC bull run, the Ethereum bull run? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you have stocks in your name, you have BTC, a crypto, and your Coinbase in your name. Do you understand litigious United States means legal laws, which means they can say, oh, there's a lawsuit just for the hell of it, and it could be snatched. All of your hard work. There you go. Remember the early warning systems that you hear when a typhoon's coming? That's what I do. I'm telling you right now, you need to start seriously considering all the people at the SSN Nation, asset protection, moving something out of your name. Now, the only problem with that is, like I said, you're going to have to rely on a trustee. And yes, we live in America. Yes, we live in a third world country, but people don't know it yet. But because you live in a third world country and people don't know it, they believe that a trustee would do the right thing, that they won't steal anything out of the trust. They won't take stuff that doesn't belong to them. We can trust them. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. But know who the trustee is during your lifetime. Do you really think that I would allow somebody during my lifetime to control my assets? That's ridiculous. So, as long as I'm a trustee, do I really care who the grantor is? And when they do the trust, you're going to put in there that the trustee can bring in assets, right? Into the trust, right? But once it goes in there, you're not going to take it out, especially if it's irrevocable. You can take it out if it's revocable, but then that's a problem in itself, in my opinion, because if you're the grantor and acting as trust, that means it's not asset protection because you're using it like your own little playground. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I heard Wall Street is secretly devising a plan to get into Americans' 401k soon. That is correct. Now you understand. Yes, that is correct. Where's all the money at? The money is in Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, 401ks, and brokerage accounts. That's where all the money is. That's trillions of dollars, more than the GDP of America. When you start combining all of it, and never mind about the banks holding your money when they say thank you very much for leaving our money in our bank, because people don't realize when they sign that paper to open up an account, it says it's no longer your money. I'm just saying it's the bank's money. Okay. So you're trusting them to give it back to you, which is interesting. But yes, you are right, DIM pals. 401ks, they're trying to figure out a way. And again, we're talking about brokerage accounts. We're talking about a lot of different things. It's not cool Asset protection is very important. We also have an umbrella insurance of 2M on each of our rentals. Exactly my point, to protect us from anyone trying to sue us. Just another option for investors to consider. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because that umbrella, exactly right. Exactly right. You know what's even funnier? You know what's even funnier? Think about just what he just said. Here's asset protection, right? He says, I'm going to get umbrella insurance. So here's the thing, the umbrella insurance company could say, I'm sorry, we're not going to defend you nor pay this. Most people do not understand that then if the insurance company says F you, we're not going to pay it. Guess where the people come after? Who they come after? It's a slippery slope, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep that in mind. All right. But that is what you have to do. You have to do it. But let me explain some other things as well, because we've been around the block a few times. And the block says your block could be someone else's block, and you're just a lawsuit away. So let me give somebody an example, because the stock market going up is great because you're going to protect your assets, right? You're going to move them into a vehicle where it's not going to be in your name. Again, remember, this is where this goes. We're talking about it right now. Stock market boom, bull run, BTC bull run. Where are you going to hold all of these assets? Because you do know the cost of living is going to rise. So to reach $1 million is a lot easier now than it was before, because $1 million is not the same as it was 50 years ago or 40 years ago. So now it's markers like 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, right? So now when you think about, oh, I've made it, I have a house, and what are houses now? 800 grand, 700 grand, a mil. All of a sudden somebody goes, oh, hey, look at this guy. Let's go see what he owns. And then they create a lawsuit. You have to defend yourself. Even it could be bogus. That is where we live, ladies and gentlemen. So people are going to settle most of the time. They're like, well, if I lose, this happens. If I settle, that happens. This is why people do this. That's why somebody might have 4,000 or 5,000 lawsuits over their lifetime. I'm just saying. Uh, I'm checking the time because I think it's that time that the president of the United States has 4,000 or 5,000 lawsuits, because he does like suing people because they usually will settle. And then you can claim a win. But the person on the other side of the coin says, well, what if they win? Instead of giving them 5 million, we might have to give 100 million. I think we should just give up the 5 million right now. Why are we going to take a risk? We might be right. We may win. But as I told you guys last on Wednesday, you never know what a judge or a jury's going to say. You really want to take that risk? So again, you're going to have the insurance. And then you should go one step further by not even having it in your name. Just saying. A trust option is apropos in my thought process. Because once you understand how many lawsuits there are, and people actively look to try and take you out, actively, once they know who you are, they go, oh, well, let me go see. All right. Like, so, in fact, I should mention something of this. Like, this happened to me, of course. Somebody said, oh, man, let me try and finagle something out of this. Because, when you tap into somebody on a vehicle, right? And then all of a sudden there's an accident. And so what does their lawyers do? They go, oh, well, they have insurance. Great. But wait a minute, doesn't your back hurt? Doesn't something hurt? Don't you have to go to the hospital? And that's a lifetime of pain. And so therefore we should go after that person. Let's go see what they have. Wait, doesn't appear they have anything. Oh my. I think that we might want to stop. We might not want to go down this path, because otherwise you're going to owe all the money. I think we'll stop right here. We don't see assets. So I think we're going to be fine. I think, yeah, sorry. That's a bad idea. You're going to lose money. You're going to owe me money. That's what you want, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm just saying, because this is the next evolution. It's the SSN Nation, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we do. We try to help you years in advance, not like it's something new. I'm telling you right now, in a year and 3 months, when things hit the fan, if you think things were crazy now, do you understand there will be people hunting down where they can try to take what they did not earn? Just keep that in mind. Brian P., Mr. Dividend, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday night live stream. He's out here doing the salsa dance along with DIM Pals, along with Post Retirement Travel. They're all doing the salsa dance. And oh, by the way, happy day, Eric, from his tagline. Happy day to you. I hope all is well with you. It's going. Day 11. My aunt is stable. Things are going well, so I'm happy. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Give it a one piece. And oh, by the way, the star that Post Retirement Travel has that you see is because he's a member of the channel. I want to thank him so much for becoming a member of the channel. I thank you. I humbly appreciate it. Yes, memberships are now open once again, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are making money in here. That's right, Brian P. I was just telling people 42.5% since March or April when I opened the Moomoo account. I told you I was doing that $100 experiment just to track, because it's very hard when you have monies in an account and then it goes up and you're not really sure because you made investments at different times and reinvestments and all that. I said, let's just see what actually is going on when I do just this. I'm very happy with 42% in about 6 months. That's pretty good. All right. So just keep all that in mind. And speaking of that, the stock market bull run is going to happen. Do not let them fool you. I don't care. Look, first of all, everything's out the window. Everything's out the window. Nothing matters. The rich guys are steering the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. They're steering the car. That's what's going down. All right. So you might as well understand this. Once you wake up and understand, stop smelling the roses like, oh, yeah, the stock market is just some random thing. It is not random. Okay. The wealthy people are getting wealthier, outpacing 90% of the population based on fake stuff. You understand stocks are paper, that's derivatives. That doesn't even exist unless you give money for it. That means it exists. If you'd never gave money for it, then it wouldn't exist. That is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So just keep that in mind. Nice, Eric. Yes. That's how you got to do it, man. Check out your emails. Yes, I was checking out my emails. I did make a video based on you, but it was based on what happens when you do the government shutdown. That's what it's based on. That's what we had to do. So I have a video. I haven't released it yet. It'll be out tomorrow. But I am going down the list. And this weekend, I'm going to be making some Mr. Dividend videos. That's right. We got a lot to talk about. And I appreciate you sending me over the information. There's financial news and updates that's out of this world. So I want to let you guys know. But just keep in mind, that's the next phase. You're going to have to start putting things not in your name, even if it has to be a business name. But again, the way it works is if you do business and in 47 out of the 50 states, you have to put down the member owners. And guess what? Your name is a member. So keep that in mind. All right. So again, they can see who it is. Now, if you really want to talk the situation where you can hide stuff, it's Wyoming. Basically, that's it. Wyoming, it's, block state. You can be anonymous. But again, now you're setting yourself up for other things because you may have your business in Wyoming, but you're doing business in other locales as your LLC. So now, will the state that you're being sued in take jurisdiction? More than likely, yes. So now it doesn't matter if you're in Wyoming LLC. especially if you're like living resident of California and Arizona and Texas and 47 states. I'm just saying, you put yourself at risk once again. Because again, it's easier to go after someone based on contingency than to actually earn the money. All right? So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. And don't always think that your insurance company's got your back either. You guys should know better than this. How many people have went through hurricanes and then find out that they're not getting any money from the insurance company? How many people have gotten in car accidents and you're like, hey, my car's worth 50 grand. And the insurance company's like, yeah, right. We found one over here somewhere for 30 grand. So we'll give you 30 grand to go get the, no. Why don't you just give me the exact vehicle that I have with near the exact same mileage? I don't want a 30 grand car when my car's worth 50. There's something wrong with the 30 grand car. It either probably has double the miles or some other problems, but you're using that without a due process to go find out, without a real person going to check it out. You're just going, oh, it's another one for sale. See, this is what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I've been down this path before as well. Many times, things aren't what they appear to be. So you're putting yourself in a serious scenario when you start relying on insurance companies to pay out. And talk to people in Florida, Louisiana, where the hurricane zones are, North Carolina, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Arkansas. Go talk to them a year ago. They have tragedy has struck, and they're still sitting there like, I'm sorry, we can't pay you. But 20 to 30% of the value because they got excuses. So think about this, ladies and gentlemen. How can you protect yourself? Well, the answers are you can only do what you know. But also think about your investments. Going to West Palm Beach, says Post Retirement Travel. Everybody on the podcast. Next week, before we go to DR, okay, my mother in law having surgery. Oh, damn, man. I hope she's okay. And I hope she's going to be really, really okay. Airbnb down there is no joke. $1,039 for 6 nights. That's not bad. We were lucky. There were others over 2K. I was going to say $1,039 for 6 nights. That's not even $200 a night in South Florida. You got lucky. That's a deal right there. We were lucky. 2K is more like it because that's what I use. I charge more than that, quite frankly. I charged like $400 or $500 like 4 or 5 years ago. 7 years ago, I was charging that in downtown Miami for the places I had. It was crazy. I couldn't believe people were paying it. 400 or 500 a night for studio or 1-bedroom apartments. It was crazy. I'm happy you got 1,039 because it could have easily been 25, 28, 2,500 to $3,000 for 6 nights there easily. So I'm glad you did that, and hopefully her surgery is nothing that's intricate where it could be life threatening. So we will pray for her and wish her nothing but success on the surgery. That's for sure. All right. So the worldwide tour starts in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. All right. Go over, ladies and gentlemen. Click on his profile. Go to his YouTube channel. Go to Instagram, Post Retirement Travel. You see it there. And you will see the worldwide tour in effect in real time with a day or 2 or 3 delay. But still, it's real time for us who watch. So go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. This time, I believe we're in the EU zone. Was that Croatia of all places? That's interesting. And a few other locations as well. So be safe no matter where you go, man, because the world is a ghetto and it's getting worse. So let's go. Stock market bull run, BTC bull run. It's very simple. What do? You buy a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee is $5 to $10, right? So if you are sitting there, one of the people I know, I used to have a job and my coworkers would be going to a place to eat every lunch, every day. And sometimes we had food carts or type breakfast locations downstairs. And the first break is 2 hours. They go downstairs, get a cup of coffee, get a croissant, avocado toast. But that's $10 to $15 5 times a week. And they still go to lunch 4 or 5 times a week. And I'd be like, you guys, you know you're spending like $100 and some, $200 damn near every week just for being at work. Of course, yeah, I know. I can afford it. Okay, you can. This is true. But are you going to be able to afford that inflation that happens later? So, again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't know how much things are going to cost next year, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, but it could outpace all of us watching right now. It could outpace what we're earning percentage wise on all of our holdings. Because if it gets to 25%, 20% is needed to outpace the cost increases, which is it's double digits right now. It could be higher. So even though we're holding assets, the only good news is our assets are going up in value. But the problem is if I sell those assets, I don't get to keep the 20, 25% appreciation. That means now, where am I going to? I have to make money from some vehicle. So I obviously can't give it up. It's going to be locked in load pretty soon. So get everything while you can now. That's the key. She's having hip replacement surgery. Oh, okay, that's good. The operation is pretty common. It's the physical therapy afterwards, the challenge, exactly. And that takes some months. It's and they want people not to sit around either. They want them up pretty quickly. And unfortunately, it does take a minute, especially if they are aged. If they're older, it takes a minute. It takes a while. So it'd be good if somebody's there, and not just. It's awesome if family could be there, because even though you may only be there 6 days, but it does help greatly, because then you can be there for them, and they don't have to feel like they're alone, and somebody else is trying to do the physical therapy or come by, and then they don't feel safe, because that you're in somebody's space. A person just is vulnerable. So it's always good to have family there. So I'm very happy that you're able to get over there. And that's one of the things, ladies and gentlemen, that you really want. Uh, you want the freedom. No fear, no excuses. You need the freedom. That's what you need. You don't need to be tied down. You need to be able to have the freedom to go and do whatever you need if possible. And the only way you're going to do that is you have to be in the stock market. You have to be in BTC. And unfortunately, you should own some real estate. Now, whether it's going to be commercial or not, you still need to own real estate because the values go up. Who thought 20 years ago that 700,000, 800,000, $1 million was going to be like a normal price for a house when homes were like 80 grand, 100 grand? If you told somebody back then, yeah, man, this same house is going to be like 600 grand, they'd have been like, are you smoking crack right now? What are you talking about? And here we are. Here we are. Since I'm out here in Vegas, I was looking at Vegas at one time in the 90s because the prices plummeted. Because Vegas had like a little problem, layoffs, and there was a situation in the 90s. There were nice homes for like 80, 90 grand. Those same homes, 80, 90 grand, are 500, 600,000 out here now. This is crazy. Crazy. But that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going to happen. And at least they have opportunity, because then they could say, well, give me a loan against that asset and still keep it and use some of that money to make the money to pay it back. So then they're good, because this is where we're going. You're going to need assets. So whether we're talking about real estate, which would, I hate to say a house is an asset that you live in because it's a liability. You need something to pay for that house. Then it's an asset. You need passive income. That's the bottom line. MDA4 can't get freedom from blue chip stocks. MDA0214. Hey, can you get freedom from any stock? That's the $1 million question. If it doesn't give out dividends, then you have to wait as the price goes up. But you are right. You cannot get freedom. It's the long game. There's no way you can get freedom on the short game because you have to keep your money in that vehicle that gives you nothing in return other than appreciation for the most part. Most of the blue chips don't give out any significant dividends, if at all. So that is very true. But it's okay. You still need diversification. That's what you need. So you put that in one box. You have a little gold in that box. You have BTC in that box because they're all the same. Unless they go up, you don't get any dividends from it. So they're all the same. So put them all in the same little box. Then you say, okay, I want some return and I go to dividends. You say, okay, I want some returns and I own real estate and I'm going to run it out. Or I own commercial property and we're going to have businesses run it out. You have to have diversification. There is not one thing that you can keep your money in. Very well said. Can't get freedom from that. Okay, here we go. Yes, you got to learn how to read financial statements and do fundamental analysis to find undervalued stocks. Yep. That is true too. That is true too. That helps out if you can understand the financial and see once again, MDA 0214. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. Once again, here's where things go sideways. How many times do people go from kindergarten to 17 years old, 18 years old, that they've seen a financial statement? Think about it. Not often. Now, you go to college or not. If you don't go to college and you don't go to business situations, then you work for somebody. Then they go, hey, this is how much we've made. Here's our balance sheet. Now you're looking at it like, I didn't take accounting. What's the bottom line? Right? So now you automatically are behind 8 balls. Unless you do what MDA 0214 says and you go study. That's the thing, right? Got to go study. Have to go understand. And if you want to play with the big boys, you have to understand, because if you don't know what they're saying, like I always told my friends, and I'll say it again, everything that you do financially, you will know the meanings of. But all of a sudden, they'll start using different terms at a higher level. And so then it's like, it's the same, like, again, one of my pet peeves. So now you go out and look at commercial property and the guy goes, oh, yeah, it's a 7% cap rate. That's one of my pet peeves I hate. So nobody hears of cap rate at all because you're growing up. You're not dealing with commercial properties. You're not selling any. You're not buying any. And then one day you go look at something and the guy, the realtor, starts going, yeah, man, it's only got a cap rate of 4%. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why are you saying this? Why don't you just say the profit is 4% this past year? That would make more sense to most people. But when you use cap rate, all of a sudden, some people may not know what that means, but everybody understands profit. So these are the things that occur because they try to have blocks for ordinary citizens. That's you, ladies and gentlemen. But don't get caught up. Always study. 2025, you can pay for classes at any college. It's what I did. Yeah, MDA 0214. You know what's funny? Back in the day, they didn't have videos or where you could do college on your internet. That would have helped out a lot of people. So you actually had to go. You had to go buy books. You had to sit in class. You had to study. You had to do all this crazy. Now you could be sitting at home doing some courses online. Very well said. Exactly. Nobody's blocked. In fact, that is the whole thing. What do they always say? Whether it's black people or whether it's anybody, put stuff in a book if you don't want people to know about it. It's true. It applies to everybody. Just put it in a book. Nobody's reading. Just put it online. Nobody's reading. They want to see videos. They're not going to read. If it's not on the video the platform, they'll be like, I'm not going to go read the book. But guess what? The successful people, they read books. They read books that weren't printed just like this year. They've read books, 50-year-old books, 40-year-old books, 30-year-old books. That gives you a rounded edge. And then when something comes along and you're looking at it and you're like, straight off, that's BS. You can tell because you already have seen and read it. It's not like rocket science, but I like what he's saying. I like what he's saying. Not hard to learn the terms. Kathy Wood do the live streams all the time. Write down stuff you don't understand and go to Google. There you go. That's what we can do now. Exactly right. But can you imagine no Google and people just, what's the EBITDA? Right? Right? The guys in the meetings and they go, the EBITDA is, they start saying is whatever. And you're sitting there like, man, why don't you just say just make it simple? Why you got to use that word? Because there's going to be people that don't even know what that is. So it's like purposely doing that to cut a fence, right? That's the way I always called it. There's a fence. So you use that word that blocks off X amount of people because now they feel stupid. Now they say, well, I don't know what it is. Back then you can't go to Google, right? You can go to the dictionary though. I don't even know if it would be in there. But the point is, they would do these things and it used to drive me crazy. I'd be like, man, they're just trying to be like, act like they're smarter than everybody using words because it's not an ordinary word that you're going to use. And so it's things like that. But in this day and age, you can learn everything. It's on the internet. It's on Chat GPT, which is crazy. Crazy. Just got my Yield Max paycheck. Exactly. Brian P. That's what we love. Passive income. The bull run is still going to work regardless. You guys see it right now. The stock market and BTC going up in value even after a market shutdown. Now, I made a video today because of Brian P. about the market shutdown and what tendencies happen. Well, people go to safe havens, right? That's gold. That's silver. That's precious metals. That's BTC, apparently. They all rose and have been rising like a bull run. Nothing changed. You would think it would be the opposite. You would think that if the government shut down, people are getting laid off, you don't know numbers, that all of a sudden the stock market would go down, not do all-time record highs. Does anybody see a problem? It's going to be your problem soon. Exactly. Thumbs up. Doing the salsa dance. I know. That's what you do every Friday night. Stock market bull run, BTC bull run, investment opportunities galore. Offshore, act like a corporation. Offshore real estate, business, I don't care, banking, it can't be under one jurisdiction of your country. No matter if somebody happens to find this. If you're in the EU zone and you find this, congratulations, because we don't get streamed to the EU. So I don't know what to tell you. And by the way, if you're in Australia, another great continent, sorry. And if you're in Asia and you see this, you don't see this either. So if you're in Canada, sorry, maybe you found this, but unfortunately, we're not streamed there either. Mexico, South America, nobody watches there either. So therefore, United States citizens, you guys are going to have to protect yourselves by getting property in some other country that I mentioned, banking accounts in some other country that I mentioned, or continent. So therefore, you can get protection as well. Because again, do not wake up shocked one day if your brokerage account is, hey, what's going on? Why can't I log in? Where is it? DIM Pals Trump threw away the jobs report for a couple of months. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. The next jobs report is going to come out the 15th. Yeah, I know. It's funny. I know, but we already know what's going to happen. There's less jobs. It doesn't really matter if they say there's more. There's less. How, where? How? You have less businesses. You have more businesses going out of business. You have more businesses filing bankruptcy. And you're firing people, federal government officials, hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So there's less jobs. There's not. This isn't even rocket science. So I don't even need his report to know we have tariffs. Companies are going out of business because they can't afford to pay the 50% or 60% or 30% more for the same items they've been buying over the years. That's significant. They have to lay people off if they do that. There's a cause and effect. There's just no way it can. This is not rocket science. You can try to hide stuff, but unfortunately, you can do propaganda, but the people that are losing jobs don't have health care and their Medicaid's shut off and their Medicare is a problem. They know as well as when people go to the grocery store and buy groceries and they get 3 bags for $100 and $150. They know. You can say whatever you want, but everybody knows. You know when you get your insurance bill and electric bill, everything's out of whack. You know, and so the government can say whatever they want. But the fact of the matter is people are drowning. So there's no way around it. Eighth 44.70 right now. I don't even look anymore because this is no surprise. This is going to continue to go up because again, we have ETFs out here who can buy ETH, they can buy Bitcoin. Government sanctioned, government approved, and the government gives these same corporations subsidies. And they're going to use some of their money to go buy some more. So the Ponzi scheme, meaning people have to buy more in order for the prices to go up, the demand has to be there. That's what is being done as we speak. Banks are allowed to be involved now. I can't even remember. There's some bank that's giving loans against this stuff legitimately, even though that's always been kind of a thing in the crypto world. Now it's official, which is insane. All right. I don't know how that works because you have volatility, just like BTC went from 121 down to 105. That is like almost a 20%, 15% downside. I don't know what somebody's margin is going to be, but that's risky. Very risky. Post retirement travel. He says, beauty about government jobs is the retirement pensions. Key is to find a good one that can last at least 20 years. Well, yeah, under the circumstances, that would have been very nice until all of a sudden 100,000, 200,000 federal workers have been let go. Nah, they didn't get their 20 years. So, again, nobody's safe out here. Unless I won't even get into it. Nobody's safe out here. That's all I'm going to say because I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off. Um, I will go off. Here's the thing. You live in a country that systemically messes over minorities. So think about something, ladies and gentlemen, because once again, when it comes to stock market bull run, BTC bull run, any bull runs, remember everybody who's in that bull run gets to win. But when you systemically do things like this, you say, I'm going to fire people. Okay. And after you fire, I'll use a number 50,000 people. Then I go, I think it should all be merit based, ladies and gentlemen. You know, these people should all be rehired by merit based. Well, the problem is those so called merit based are the same people that align with your political party, your ideology. And if it happens to be white supremacy, then you don't hire back minorities. But we'll say it's merit based. That's where the problem comes in. Knowing dumbasses are in position to get paid nicely while the people who actually earned their way to the positions are on the street. What kind of a country is that? Because the weakest link is how strong you are. That's all I'm going to say about it. So just remember that whenever you're forming a coalition or anything, your weakest link is as strong as you will ever be. So if you have multiple weak links in the chain of armor, I'm sorry. It does not matter how good the rest of the army is because you have vulnerabilities. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going, ladies and gentlemen. Brian P. 4 dead amid listeria outbreak linked to Trader Joe's Walmart products. Yeah, this is going to keep going. If you have somebody that doesn't care about health and you merit based somehow have a Department of Health person that's the leader that doesn't even have a medical degree, a surgeon general who doesn't have a medical degree that's actually good. These guys are running the medical situation merit based. Dumbass. But hey, people are going to die. Who cares? Jesus. Oh, post retirement travel, Eric. When are you going to DR anytime soon? No, I'm not going to DR anytime soon. I just look again. There's certain things that I don't like. I'll tell you in a second. Tamara, Larry, and other investors in the house. Very happy to see you once again. Welcome to the SSN Nation Financial Friday Night Live Stream. And the tagline she brings is hello all. Now, back to this. Eggs recalled in 9 states for salmonella risk. What do you know? See, this is what I'm saying. Organic and cage-free brown eggs sold at Walmart, Safeway, and other major retailers have been recalled after dozens were sickened with salmonella. So let's see, ladies and gentlemen, you feel safe. So you take away the FDA, minimize it. You minimize the USDA. You bring in unqualified individuals to run the CDC, the Department of Health, and your Surgeon General. What could go wrong? I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, your health is your wealth, so you better start thinking about homegrown. I mean, think about like you're in 1850, homegrown. You know what goes in your ground, you know how it's harvested. All of this is going back to 1800s in a freaking 2025 environment. People are going to be getting sick for all kind of nonsense. It's very, very simple. Members of Congress still get paid during the government shutdown, I know, which is a travesty, and I still don't know why. America, this is just so backwards. These guys shouldn't be able to do stock trades. That should be illegal straight up. They shouldn't even be able to get away with lying on the floor of our nation's capital to people, the American people. I mean, this is just, I mean, Jesus. Newspapers, this is so insane. Newspapers have more truth telling than a senator on the floor or a House of Representatives on the floor of Congress who get to lie to the American people on news, TV, local, in auditoriums, can just flat out lie. No repercussions. Unbelievable. And these same people can get paid. These same people can invest in corporations when they sit on the board or they sit on the committee for financial news, financial updates, banking, regulations. This is insane. Third world country. You guys get it yet? Some House and Senate lawmakers requesting that their paychecks be withheld as millions of federal workers prepare to go without pay. Exactly. I wonder who those guys might be. I wonder. I wonder. Good for them. They should let those names be known. Visa pilots pre-funded stablecoins for cross-border payments. Oh yeah, Visa. Yeah, they've already started that. Visa and Mastercard. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's already happened. They started that like last year. Clandestine outside of the United States, by the way. Yeah, they've already started that. They've been on it. Businesses would pre-fund their Visa Direct account with stablecoins instead of fiat, which Visa would count as money in the bank. I know. And again, this is the downfall of your currency, ladies and gentlemen. You guys getting it yet? Your currency. It's about to be effed up if they allow stablecoins to replace your currency. That means less circulation. We're only 54%. Do you understand why BRICS is sitting there chomping at the bit? Because they're sitting there going, these guys can't be. They're not. Are they really? Oh my. Who wants to come join BRICS? Hey, European countries, you want to in on BRICS? Because USA is about to F up the currency, 54% of the currency. So these are the things you have to look at. These are the things you got to look at. Tyson Foods has recalled 58 million pounds of frozen meat products. Oh my God. For life-threatening contaminants. Tyson Foods always got an issue. If anybody's eating any Tyson food products, I highly suggest you do not do this. They've always had issues. This is insane. Not Jimmy Dean, too. Cinnamon French toast sausage on stick Jimmy Dean original pancake. And oh my God, this is, again, you guys cannot trust the FDA, USDA, none of this. This government agency we have right now, the regime is trying to cut all that. They have already. What am I saying? They've already done that. This is the result. This is a trickle down results of this. Once you, it doesn't catch up until it's the stuff is on the market, on the shelves. That's when it catches up with you. So the inspectors aren't there. They didn't see it. They're not checking. 2 months, 5 months, 7, 8 months later, you got to remember everybody doesn't cook the same. Some people cook differently than others. So that's the time when you find out. It's not like you find out because there's somebody testing this stuff. It's after the situation has happened and somebody's in the hospital, not one person, but 5, 6, 10. All of a sudden, it's like, hold on, is there an epidemic going on? It was avoidable. Mr. Law of Compensation, welcome to the SSN Nation Friday night financial live stream, and he's here. SSN family is the tagline. Thank you so much, man. Very happy to see you once again, Mr. Law of Compensation. Another man that's out here making things happen for a lot of people. Go show some love on his channel. Click his icon. Go over there. Make sure you let him know you're in the house. All right, over. Oh, man, Brian P, you got to stop it, man. We already know what's happening. Look. Did I not? We talked about this before. We know there's going to be a problem with our food supply. You know this. We knew what Project 2025 said. We know there's going to be a problem with your mail, right? We know this. We know what they're doing. They're trying to restrict American citizens, which means your pockets are going to be fleeced. Over 418,000 pounds of breadcrumbs and coating mixes recalled in Class 1 Listeria alert. What to know? Oh my goodness, man. Oh, that's why I've been plant-based for 8 years so far. Well, Mr. Law of Compensation, I have bad news for you. That does not mean you're going to be safe either. They're not regulated. Nobody's going out there checking anything. You're just basing it on, hopefully, that the farm is doing the right thing. But just remember, nobody's actually checking everything. It can be plant-based and there still could be issues, but I do like the plant-based option. I have to say. All right. Brian P., a wide-reaching food recall is underway after Newlyweds Food Inc. voluntarily recalled multiple commercial-side breadcrumb and breading products that may be contaminated with listeria. Oh, man. Brian P., you're just killing me tonight. You're giving me all this bad news that we knew was going to happen. This was already going to, we know this was going to happen. There are no regulations, no regulators going around to check on anything. Doge cuts. I'm just surprised the airline industry has been able to uphold something. I know why. It's because it's computerized. But that 20 to 25-year-old computer system is going to break down. Somebody should have already been on it. Somebody tried to be on it. Then another person comes in behind them and says, "Oh, stop the funding. We can't do anything because I don't know what they're trying to do." But all I'm saying is that's crazy. All right. So again, there is a problem in Houston, ladies and gentlemen, in America. You're going to have to protect yourself financially. Think about getting your assets in order, your name off of things. So that means you need it in something other than your name. And again, if you think an LLC is good, again, you're going to be wrong, because unless you're not going to be named on the member as a member or partner or anything like that, then okay. But if your name's on there, then that's simple open. What is that? Oh, I can't remember the name of that website. Open Corporation. I think that's what it is. Then you can look it up. I mean, it's not that hard. All I'm saying is you better protect yourselves. 12,000 pounds of organic. There we go. There we go. Blueberries recalled over listeria risk. Here's what to know. Who is it? Because we eat blueberries. I want to know, who is it? What's happening here? Why is that doing that? How did I do that? I don't know how I did that. I don't. I have a screen up that I can't see. Okay, plant-based products aren't healthier unless you're talking about raw vegetables and fruits. This is why Beyond and others been doing so bad. Oh yeah, well, Beyond and Impossible, those actually aren't good for you. That's why they're doing so bad. These guys are putting stuff in their meats. It's crazy. They claim they're plant based, but actually they're doing something else. I mean, I'm saying it is plant based, but they're adding chemicals to it. That's harmful. So it makes no sense. That's why they're failing, because people realized it. You know, it's kind of like what's a McDonald's chicken McNugget made of? What's their hamburgers made of? I mean, what's their food made of? Goo. So, yeah, good point. Sadly, yeah. There you go. But the problem with just raw vegetables and fruits, you don't have enough the proteins and things like this. So you have to figure it out. I mean, you have to do like eggs in that case where you can get some. I mean, it's just making it very, very difficult. But it can be done. And then they're increasing the prices for all this stuff. So keep that in mind as well. I don't know why this is covering up my screen. The fruit came from the Alma Pack International, Georgia-based supplier, and was shipped on or before June 9, 2025 to a single commercial customer. Okay, well, good. I don't get none of their stuff. But look, organic blueberries frozen, shipped 30-pound bulk boxes, numbers 13325. At least they give the numbers out. G1060 and 13325 and G1096. Wow. Alma Pack organic blueberries. I've never even heard of them. But we get organic blueberries as well, frozen for the mental health kick. One of these days, I'll have to give you guys the formula because, we're not going to produce it, I guess. So I'll have to figure out if it's going to be next week. I'll have to talk with the wife and see what she's going to say about this formula, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I don't want to be on here all night because, see, this breaks my heart when I know people are going to be suffering because of dumbassery, unnecessary dumbassery, when in fact it could easily not happen because you would have had people in place. The federal government would have had people in place with their regulatory uh, abilities and to make sure that they're going out there to check things out, where now deregulation means nobody's really going out there, and they're defunding it to make it impossible for people to go out there. And now we're having repercussions. People are going to get sick. People are going to die for no reason. This is where it's going. Is it just me or what? Have you noticed that everything around your life has turned into a damn paid subscription? That's correct. Since 2000, that's right. Things that we used to get for free, now we have to pay monthly. Can't get ahead. Exactly. That's where we're going. That's already where we are. You're exactly right. That's it. That's it. This is how corporations continue to make more money, because that's how they did it. Again, Just keep in mind, up until 2000, 2002 or 3, remember you could buy CDs or CDs, DVDs, whatever, the software. Okay, once they sold it to you, you could hold on and your operations would work because they couldn't send you any upgrades because you had the software. You had the disc. So then brilliantly they said, why are we giving them disc? Why don't we just give them the software online, and if we ever do upgrades, we make them pay for it. So whenever 2, 3 years go by, we can just get charge an upgrade for the same software that we gave them before that they had to pay for. And then why don't we just give them a monthly or annual subscription if they want to use our software? We don't even have to go looking for people. Stranglehold. So now, remember cable? And then cable goes, oh, hey, how about Paramount TV? How about MGM Studios? Their own private. How about ESPN? How about they have their own private? How about ABC Movies or whatever? Everything's a subscription now. Everything. Corporations get to continue to make more money off of the same things that they've been doing. And therefore, the price of everything goes up. Just saying. Okay. Okay. I guess this is time for me to do something. Let's see if this is the right one. Let me see. I can't yet. This is the right one. I think this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. Yeah, maybe. Let's go. Okay. Has anybody seen this? Let's see. Fantastic Four. What's this relay? What's this Freakier Friday? Nobody 2. The Naked Gun. No idea. Afterburn. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to movies anymore. So I don't even know what's new. But, you guys, uh, whoever can see that, maybe you might want to go check that out. All right. If you don't know, now you will know. All right. Okay. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This is funny. This is funny. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Hey, Eric, check out this. $1 million homes with $1 million views of Lake Las Vegas are falling apart. That is what a group of homeowners and their attorney claim. No, it's no claim. It's happening. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Multi-million dollar homes that people have lived in for 5 years. Separation all over the place. Cracks on walls, separations on window sills and doorways. Oh, it's bad. And it's been more than 5 years. It's been like 10 years. Now there is no repercussions by law. So all these homes are just crumbling around them. And they're now trying to sue people. It was on the news, by the way. It's in Las Vegas, Lake Las Vegas, which is an upscale luxury location. Which is, wow. I just remember 15 years ago, I went out to Lake Las Vegas, and parts of it is man-made. Well, it is man-made, part of it. They move the sand around. They do this. Rule number 1, I don't want to mess around with land that they've moved around. Rule number one. If they say I got man-made island for you, no, thank you, Dubai. Sorry, not gonna happen. Just like they said, oh yeah, we made this little Las Vegas lake thing, and we moved the dirt around, and Celine Dion lives over here, and they started naming some celebrities that live in there. I'm like, you just told me you moved sand around over there. That's not gonna work for me. That is crazy. So this is no surprise 10 to 15 years later. Just saying, unfortunate. And they're not going to get any reprieve from that either. Streaming services, another mafia. They get you with individual additional plugs. Okay, look, you saw what I put in here? Those days are over. You can screen share to your TV, by the way. Most people have Samsungs or some TV that's been made in the last 5 years. You can use your phone to screen share, or you can just go on your TV and put in the internet and put it up on screen. Movies, TV shows, miniseries, new movies. Probably get banned now. But hey, 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 go to a movie, John Wick 5. I'll go see that. Ballerina, I went to go see. I don't go to the movies often, but I didn't have to. But hey, I'll go see some movies, right? If John Wick 5 comes out, I'll go to the movies. If there was a Mission Impossible, I'd go to the movies. I go see those at the movies, even though I don't have to. Now you don't have to. Just saying. It's just the hacker in me. Service is another mafia. Right. Not no more. Not no more. Just go there. Don't click on any ad stuff, all right? Just saying. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, MDA. With these new ETFs offering 10% in plus in dividends, they're making it hard to want real estate. Hey, MDA, thank you for mentioning that, because you're absolutely right. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I just thought it was like, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that takes off real estate all the way around. Why risk? I agree with you 100%. 110%. This is always my pet peeve about real estate in the first place. Even when we have to do our investments, and I say, hey, why would you take 6% or 5%, which cap rate 5% or 4% or 8%, when you can just buy a stock that gives you 8%, 9%, 10%, relatively safe, and go on about your business? Why even risk anything year after year after year? Makes no sense. With these new ETFs offering 10 plus in dividends, they're making it hard. Yeah. Yeah. And the Bitcoin guys are doing it too. If that's what you're referring to, because they're doing the same thing. They're letting you get loans against your crypto, just like the crypto markets have been, but banks are involved, giving these high returns right now. It's incredible. Incredible. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be on here too long, an hour and 32 minutes, even though we talk about the stock market bull run. Now, the Forex bull run, I thought I was done. I'm not done. Thanks to MDA, I got to give him all the credit in the world. Thanks to him, I was studying. I've been studying every day, every night. I've been studying. I've been watching the markets. I've been just doing demo, and I've been sitting there like, I'll be damned. There is somewhat patterns that is starting to form once you use some actual indicators. I'm like, and once you understand what the candles look like and what's to expect, and the tendencies are pretty high. And I'm sitting there like, this is all doable. So I am going to be back in the Forex game. Thanks to MD0124 and a few other friends of mine who also sent me some literature to study, PDFs to study, who actually have been doing this for 7 years. Have you checked out any of the Canadian-based ETFs? I knew this came up. I can't talk about it. I saw it. Even they're getting in on the action. I was like, oh my God. Fidelity, let me see what we got going on. You're right. They're all in on it. They're all trying to give high rates of return to get the money in right now. Yes, I've been putting most of my money into JPEG, JEPQ. Yep, exactly. 11.3, 11.5%. JP Morgan, damn right. I agree with that 110%. You can get 10%, 11% right now in this environment today for a long time. JP Morgan is not going anywhere, the largest bank in the world. And they're a Fed bank too. So they're always going to be protected. So the only way this doesn't make sense is if their stock goes from let's say 56, 58, down to, I don't know how it's going to go down, but I guess it could go down to 30. I, I, I don't know how, because the ETF is holding funds. They're holding companies that are now, some companies are $20 trillion. So I don't know how their value is going to drop below 50 something. It'd be a cold day in hell. I mean, there would have to be literally a corporation meltdown as well as a JP Morgan meltdown. I don't know how that's going to happen. Something that helped me was Bitcoin. Bitcoin runs 24/7. You can watch that chart to get more chart time and get more comfortable. Yeah, I was thinking about, I've just been looking at the XAU USD. I have access to, as you know, on the MT4 terminal, all of it. So I was going to start doing that probably starting on this weekend. I'm going to check some things, but I was probably going to start checking Friday night as some markets open and go check out some other currencies and go check out some other things. But I agree with I see right now volatility means money. That's why I started thinking, okay, we're going to have to go look at Bitcoin anyhow because it moves. And those $100,000 moves, that's a lot of ticks going by, or pips, depending on which one. I still haven't figured out why I would call one the other. I saw it in some literature, but I was like, okay, they're like, yeah, if you do this stocks, I guess it's pips. If it's not stocks, it's ticks. I don't know. It's vice versa. I don't really know. I didn't care. But again, that's my problem with this. Why didn't you just use the same name? What difference does it make? It means the same thing. At least that's what I think. So we'll see. I haven't really studied it too mad, the terminology, but I'm just like, why do they call one pips? Why do they call one ticks? And it has to do with depending on which market you're in or something. I'm like, come on, man. Something that helped me. Yeah, I'll thank you for that. I'm going to check out BTC again because it's volatile. And I don't know if the chart's the same as that, but I'm assuming they're similar. So it's going to be very, very interesting. All of them make the same patterns: crypto, indices, stocks. Oh, well, then that means you can trade anything. So I'm thinking volatility matters, especially if you start getting good in its predictability and you start increasing your rate of predictability. Therefore, you can be placing your bets, as I like to call them, but we'll use the right terms, trade. So you can start making your trades and be more efficient without, like he said originally, forget the bot. Just do it yourself. And I can, what I realized last night, that if the market is volatile like it was last night at XAU USD, within an hour or less, because of the volatility, I could have made, well, I did actually in the demo mode. I made like $300. And I'm sitting there like I wasn't even trying. I was just sitting there like trying to wait a seconds, wait 20, 30 seconds before I did anything, going, hey, okay, this looks about right. Let me see what happens. And so I would place a few trades, right? But once I get more comfortable with it, it won't be just a few. So that little 300 little episode could have easily been at least 600 within an hour. So I would have been very good last night. But again, the only reason is because it was going up, going down, going up, going down. It was crazy. And then it would stay like this for a minute, and then it would go up, then it go down. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this is the best market ever. Because you can win going up, win going down, winning all the way around. I was like, oh, this is beautiful stuff. But again, I only put in like 4 or 5 trades on each side. If I'd have done like 10, then it would have been double. I only did 4 or 5, buy 4 or 5, sell, just to see what would happen. And I still ended up with, I say 300, I rounded up. It was $293. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, I'm learning something. I'm learning. I'm like, hold on, this could be it. All of them make the same patterns. I say less. That's all I needed. They may do them at different times, but if you pick up patterns on one, it'll work on the other. Oh, that's good news, man. I'm going to start practicing that on Sunday night early. when the maybe even the Asian markets open or something. Dollywood permanently closes amusement parks. That's correct. 5 billion industry faces foreclosure. Yeah, them days are over, especially in an obscure place around Gatlinburg. Um, I mean, obscure. It's not really obscure. It's just that you don't have enough tourists. You don't have enough demand. So it is what it is. No shocker there. All of those amusement parks around there have closed at one time or another. Somebody might come in and buy it. I mean, it's happened before. Scientists convert a kidney from blood type A to universal type O and implant it in a brain dead recipient. Convert a kidney from type A to O? Well, if it's O, is that universal? That's crazy. That is awesome. Now, that part is crazy in itself. But don't tell me that the brain dead recipient came to life, because now I'm going to get scared. All right. I'm going to get scared. All right. Facts. There we go. All right. Mr. Law of Compensation, he's chiming in also on the trades. Samsung brings Bitcoin access. Yes, I saw that too. I saw this too. This is another reason why Bitcoin's rising. This is insane. Yes, it is it. Yep. Yep. And charting on Bitcoin right now, perfecting my strategy in between going over my weekly trades. Right on. MDA 0214. Sounds like he's been studying, which equals success, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember, with anything, there's no 100%. But the more you study, the more you know, the better you will be. Again, still not 100% of anything, but you have to be in it to win it. But the more you know, you can minimize any else. Or I learned something else today because I thought I closed out all the trades. Little did I know, I had one trade still open. I was not around, went to go visit aunt, got something to eat, chilling for 3 hours. I come back, I look at my computer, and I see some numbers moving, a number moving on this one column, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Unfortunately, I came back. It's in demo mode, luckily, but I came back and it was like negative, I don't know, $10 or something. And it was on a sell order. And while I'm sitting there, I just still said, oh, well, it's no big deal. Let's see what happens. 1 cent, lots. And so all of a sudden, next thing I know, the thing closed out and it went all the way back down to where I was and below. And on the other side ends up being plus $10. And it was, first of all, it was gold USD. And you knew people were going to sell before the close of market, right? So it made sense. So I just left it open to see if I was going to be right. And I put a sell order at the other end too. So actually, it worked out pretty good. So that was pretty funny. Left open by accident, still would have won based on what I figured was going to happen. And it happened. So, and that was based on no chart. That was just based on, I know people are going to take their profits before the market actually closes out, so to speak, closes out, but it's open all the time. But all I'm saying is our market in the USA. So anyhow, it all works out. Brian P. So here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I don't want to be on here all night, but you have 1 year, 3 months. Get your credit in order. 775. You can go to Smart Credit. Hold on. Let me do Smart Credit for you. This is a credit monitoring system. Go over here, sign up. Usually, there's discounts for like a few months. So I'll put Smart Credit in the chat room for everybody that's watching. Congratulations. Everybody that's watching, congratulations. If you saw the Gojara link, your movie days, going to the movies may be over. Your days of watching stuff on those platforms that you got to pay for extra may be over. I'm just saying, I love it. quite frankly, it's a travesty what these people are out here doing to ordinary citizens, making us pay for all kind of stuff. Okay, smart credits on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Go over there, get your protection. They do have identity theft fraud for everybody in your house that has at the same address. In case that occurs, that's on your credit profile, has the same address. Is pretty cool. So once again, there you go. Latest movies. Like I said, let me go look at this because I really don't check it out. But I mean, there's series here. You can, I mean, there's everything. Look, there's, I guess there's a series called Peacemaker. Never saw it. Invasion. Never saw it. Some old stuff is on here as well. Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Tony and Ziva. Don't know. Oh, that's NCIS. Don't know. Again, I don't really watch TV, but I have access. Now you guys have access. Billy the Kid. Interesting. Tulsa King. I do like the Tulsa King show. I've watched that. But I too am tired of getting jacked. So, there's always other things, other ways to do something. All right. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have a wonderful weekend. And I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, but all you can do, and we got one more, all you can do is be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen, because people are under stress and it's going to get more stressful. Government shutdown means people are being laid off. And they don't know when they're coming back to work, nor do they even know that if they're going to get another paycheck. That is a scary situation to be in. And we have a government that doesn't care about laying people off and them not having a paycheck. Just keep that in mind as well. All right. Yes, iconic car maker gets $2 billion bailout following cyber attack. Yes, that was in the UK. I did read that one. I did see it. And it's just, I swear, if you're a millionaire, billionaire, a company, you get bailouts. No more capitalism anymore. You don't get to file bankruptcy, get somebody to replace you that's more efficient, is better company. No, you can keep the same old garbage company in business by giving them bailouts. And I don't understand this because that means the weak survive, which also means down the line, you keep allowing the weak to survive. The efficiencies and the cost to consumers increase like what we've had happen now over the last 30, 40 years because they're picking winners and they're picking losers, but it's not by market forces. So again, that is a problem. And so therefore over there in the UK doing this BS, capitalism is lost. That's all I can say. Just like right now, farmers, after they've been hurt, now the United States government's going to bail some of them out. Well, the thing is, they should go bye-bye naturally from a capitalist system. I'm a capitalist. I am not the bailout guy. But if you're going to tell me give $20 billion to farmers for getting bailed out, then I say, well, what's the difference between giving people who are educated needing bailouts? What's the difference between giving kids free lunch at school to make sure they're good so they can learn to help improve our country when they get older so they're smart? I don't need merit-based people to be running any damn thing because merit-based means my friend thinks you're merit-based or their friend thinks they're merit-based. They're not the best. I need the best worker for my job, my business. I don't need to hire my buddies. So, come on, this is craziness. How do you get rid of a country? You do stuff like what's happening now. The best aren't running anything. The brightest aren't in the room. They're allowing dumbass stuff to happen and then calling themselves great. That's insane. So get prepared, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, when we start talking about this Forex and we start talking about these trading, you guys have to understand that's independence. That means you can be anywhere in the world and do this. So if you're good at it, You now start opening up new avenues for yourself because you don't know what's going to happen. That's all I'm saying. You don't know what's going to happen. You guys ever remember what was that movie? Snake Plissken. Oh, the Bronx. Oh, but anyhow, the part about the United States is surrounded was the second one, and Snake Plissken had some device that could block the rest of the world from attacking the United States, and then he was like, escape from escape from New York, escape from LA. And the thing is, the government was so bad against individuals. Snake Plissken's like, because they put people in, like how we're having detention centers, concentration camps right now, except they put up whole walls. So people actually had to stay in that concentration camp, right? Well, meanwhile, the politicians and all the rich people are like living the high life. And so the rest of the world, they're living so bad that what was the difference between somebody else taking over the United States and what's the difference? So he didn't give them the button or whatever it was. I find that very fascinating because that's a similar situation that we're in right now. We have a group of individuals running everything, taking money that doesn't belong to them from the hands of the ordinary citizens, and then not helping those same people, trying to lock them up, trying to make sure they starve, make sure they have no health care. We don't give a damn. Fend for yourself. While we take all of your tax monies, sales taxes, everything, give you nothing in return, but we're going to enrich ourselves. This is what we're dealing with. So it's going to be a point where a lot of people are probably going to say, you know what, I'm done. I don't need to be sitting around here. I can be anywhere on the planet and do what I need to do. And that is what trading does. Now, oh, by the way, I forgot something. If you guys, now listen, the thing I love, I'm going to tell you guys what I was experimenting with MD0214. You know that bot? Here's the thing. The bot was doing like 50 to 100 trades within like a minute or less. I didn't realize really how fast it was going because it was just automated to me. But I did notice something. I was like, wait a minute. It only does X amount of trades within that time, and it's doing buy and sells. The thing was, then I noticed it kept it within a certain window. The problem with it is when you entered the market, it was random. That's how I used to, originally just random. We won, got lucky. It was cool. What if it was going on an uptrend or a downtrend? You entered, it buys all within this band, and then all of a sudden it starts going. Meanwhile, your buys are winning. The sells are getting wider and wider, so you're not winning. And that's very interesting. So I didn't realize that's what it was doing. But now that I know, thank you so much. Escape from LA. That's it. That's it. So now that I know what I was looking at, I was like, okay, let me try a little bit of this. So when I knew what was going to happen, I said, okay, this says it should rise up. So I said, this would be a good time because I know it's going to buy at this pretty much price and I know it's going to sell. Also, I know there's going to be a downside eventually. So I said I can live with it being in this area because according to the chart stuff, it should drop to this level. I was like, let's go for it. Poof. Sure enough, one on the buy side, the chart comes back, says it should drop. RSI's going down. I said, oh, so I start closing out all the buys. And then we start dropping past the sales, and now we're in profits on the other side. So within this like 45 minutes to an hour, like I said, 293. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I think I can do this even using the buy. I don't have to do all the trades. So it's going to be very interesting. So it was worth it to actually potentially have the bot because I don't want to sit there and put in X amount of trades. I haven't figured out how to put in like 10 trades, 15 trades at once. Maybe there's a way to do it. I'm sure there is. But we haven't gotten that far. I'm still doing the chart thing. But if anybody wants to consider thinking about that gold trading bot that I have been playing around with, it does cost $2,500 for the lifetime warranty. And it does cost $1,000 for the 1-year warranty. We've had a few people playing with it. I haven't heard from the guys yet and how they've been doing, but I mean, maybe they're studying. The point is, you can go to goldrushregister.info. You just register. Somebody will get in contact with you, and you can start there. Just put in my name, Eric Bird, as a reference, referral, whatever you want to call it. Oh man, and I'll put it here in this link. Let's go. Here we go. Goldrush.info. There we go. Go there, and we'll be talking about it on Monday, by the way. All right, because I will be doing some more testing on Friday night, honing my skills again. And I think we have something because we have some other people doing some other testing, and that they started going, they do it at 2 a.m.? They said they start at 2 a.m. and they run it for like an hour. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. Or it's something like that, 2 a.m. Central. So that's 12 a.m. at night, Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern. I was like, that's interesting. That's interesting. We'll see. But yeah, I would have just if I ran it an hour for the time frame, I would have it would have been 293 in profits. And that was being lazy too. I wasn't even really trying to focus. I was just trying to see what was happening more. I was like an observer versus putting any more trades in there manually. So we'll see what happens. But in the chat room is that. And let me see. I had some other stuff too. Oh, CoinEx. That's who I use as the broker. Hold on. I messed up. Yeah, CoinEx. Yeah, there is, referral for CoinEx too. So let me put my link in for that. Everybody, once you register for CoinEx, you actually have a link. I don't know what good it does, quite frankly. But hey, where's it at? Okay. Here we go. All right. This will be down below in the description box as well. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Yikes. Uh-oh, I messed up. That's not going to work. That was a lot of stuff. That won't work. That won't work, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. That put in a whole bunch of stuff. That doesn't work. I hope it didn't take it because that didn't work too well. That was too much stuff right there. Okay, there you go. So there's going to be a new strategy coming out, by the way, because there's people trying to hone it in a little bit better. So just stay tuned. But if you want to register, sign up, get in the gold trading bot, then go make it happen. We're here. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure you stay safe out here. All right. Yeah, that took a lot of stuff out, but it is what it is. And I'll see you on Monday night at 8:50 p.m. And with all that said, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.